Good morning, girls. So today's class we are going to continue with this topic attitude. Okay. So last class I taught you what is the meaning of attitude, features of attitude, and we had even seen the importance of attitude. So to continue with this topic further, so we're going to see next is the components of attitude. So before that, let me recap for you the meaning of attitude. Right. So attitude is one of the personality trait, okay, so that makes a person to be different from that of others. So you can say attitude is nothing but a characteristic, okay, of a person. So it's a way of thinking of a person, or it could be a feeling about something. So attitude is basically the readiness of a person to act or react in a certain way. So having the right mental attitude, like I told you, is very, very important. Okay, so we are going to also see in further classes positive thinking. Okay, so that's the most important thing about attitude. All right. So for now, like I said, I've recapped you what exactly is an attitude. It's nothing but characteristic of a person, or it could be a personality trait that will make a person different from that of others. All right. So now we'll continue with this next topic, the components of attitude. So you can see here there are three components which is made a mention in your textbook. So first thing is cognitive component. Okay, second one affective component and behavioral component. So what do you mean by this topic component? So component is nothing but these are certain ingredients, okay, out of which attitude is made up of. Okay, simple example that you can take is, so say for example, if you want to make a dish, you will have to include in that various components as in ingredients to make up that particular dish. Only then it will be called that particular dish, isn't it? So like that, to call it an attitude, there are few components which has made the attitude, okay, which has made up the attitude, and that is what we're going to see under the topic components of attitude. So first one, like I said, is cognitive component. So under cognitive component you have the knowledge, belief or opinion of a person that he has towards something. Okay, so what is knowledge? So in this cognitive component, this is one of the important component which makes up your attitude. So in this cognitive component, it is the knowledge. Okay, so what do you mean by this term knowledge? Knowledge is nothing but the information that which you have acquired, and the information could be through your life experience. Okay, so whatever experience that you have gone through in your life, you would have acquired certain knowledge. Other than that, also knowledge comes from education. Okay, so as you're getting educated, you are imparted with more and more of knowledge. You get to know about things. Okay, and other than knowledge, it is also the belief. Okay, belief. What is belief? Belief is what you trust, what you have confidence in, your faith. Okay, or it could even be an opinion. Opinion, it's nothing but your viewpoint. Okay, so your judgment about something. So that's what is called as an opinion. So under cognitive component, the knowledge, belief or opinion, all these three of a person, okay, what makes is cognitive component. He's got this particular component which he is going to receive from knowledge, which he is going to receive from belief and uh, the opinions. Okay, so that makes your cognitive component. So this is one of the important components which makes a person to develop his attitude. All right, so the next one is uh, affective component. So what is the affective component? So affective component is something which affects, okay, that is the emotion or feeling of a person towards something, and this affects a person's attitude a lot. This is also one of the important components. All right, so affective component, like I said, is the emotion. What is an emotion? Emotion is a strong feeling, okay, that is deriving from one's circumstance, or it could even be emotion also comes from a mood, isn't it? So if you are in a good mood, your emotions are different. You tend to laugh, like enjoy and smile and do things like that. While on the other hand, if you are sad, then you don't tend to express a good emotion. right? So emotion, okay, and other than emotion, it's also called a feeling, okay. So this affective component also, it could be an emotion, or it could even be a feeling. So feeling is nothing but an emotional state, how you react, okay, uh, towards something, okay. That is what is called as an emotion. So this is affective component. So this also affects your behavior, your attitude. All right. The last one is behavioral component. Okay, so behavioral component is the intention to behave in a certain way towards something. Okay, so how you behave towards something. See, certain people are quick to behave, quick to anger, and some people are slow to anger. You cannot make them, like mm, quickly angry. You would have heard of short-tempered people, right? So that is a behavioral component. All right. So all these components put together only makes your attitude. I repeat, what you know. Okay, I'm summarizing all these 3 points together. What you know, what you are, what your knowledge is, what you believe in, what is your viewpoint or opinion, and then uh, what kind of emotions you have or feelings you have. Okay, some people have a control over the emotions, some people do not have control over their emotions. Okay, so sometimes we tend to like even watch a soap or a serial and cry a lot, while some people can have control over such kind of emotions and have a gap between their emotion and know that it is not reality, right? And some people and another important thing is how you behave, your intention of behavior. So all these 3 components put together only makes up your attitude. All right, so that's about your components of attitude, girls. Okay, now we'll see the next topic, that is the functions of attitude. So what are the various functions of attitude? First one is adjustment function. Okay, so there are 4 important functions. Out of them, the first one is adjustment function. So what does this adjustment function means? Adjustment function is nothing but a beneficial function. Okay, so this is one of the functions of your attitude. Sometimes your attitude tends to adjust. And what is this adjustment meaning? See, for example, uh, showing a favorable attitude towards something because you are benefiting out of that particular object. Adjustment function is otherwise called as beneficial function. This function is otherwise called as beneficial function. Why? Because you tend to adjust your attitude in order to receive some kind of benefit. Say, for example, if you are going to receive a benefit from that one particular person, then you are going to show a favorable attitude towards him. Rather, if you are going to receive some kind of hardship from a person, or if you're not going to receive any benefit from a person, you're not going to show any favorable attitude towards that person. Okay, so this is the first function, favorable adjustment function. You tend to adjust your attitude, show whether you are favorable towards that object, or you are going to show that you are not favorable towards that particular object based on the benefit that you are going to receive. The next one is ego defensive function. Ego defensive function is where an attitude can serve as a device for protecting your self image. Yeah, sometimes you don't want to lose your image, or rather you don't want to spoil your name. Okay, so sometimes you tend to defend your ego and what to say, save your image. Okay, so at that time you try to behave in a particular way to what to say, uh, to protect your self-image, to protect your self-esteem, to protect your self-importance, right? So that's called as ego defensive function. So next one we have is called as value um, expensive function. So what is this value expensive function? So this is an attitude that supports expression of core values. All of us have our own values. Okay, you can find some people with the attitude of lying a lot. Okay, uh, saying a lot of lies and involving a lot of fraudulent activities, you can see that person is really deceiving in nature. He can go to any extent to do anything. Such as a person who has no values. So each one of us have our own values. So sometimes we express those values, okay, in our attitude. So for example, if your value is that you want to be honest, you don't want to lie around, you are taught of this from your childhood, and you are holding on to this value, okay, strongly, then you will be a person with with an attitude of honesty. Did you understand? So that is called as value expensive function of your attitude. Then last one is knowledge function. Last one is knowledge function. So what is this knowledge function? Knowledge function is where your attitude serves as a standard or a frame for understanding and interpreting people and events around them. That is, this function of your attitude is where you are trying to get awareness, you are trying to acquire knowledge, and that knowledge, like I told you already, comes for you from what do you call, your education, your experience in life, right? So this is called as a knowledge function. And you can see, best example that you can take is educated people will always have a broad mind, while uneducated people serve to have a narrow-mindedness. Okay, so this kind of knowledge comes to them from education, experience, and that also can express your attitude, right? So these are the 4 functions of your attitude. Yeah. So to continue with another topic, okay, about attitude is characteristics of attitude. So all these are there in your textbook. You can just have a glance if you want to. I will also take a picture and forward it on WhatsApp. You can also look into that. Okay. So the next one is characteristics of attitude. The first characteristic is attitude have an object. Okay. So yes, attitude must have an object. What do you mean by this word object? Object is nothing but a focus, okay, or rather it could be a purpose or a aim or a goal. So every attitude is got its own aim, goal, focal point. So there is an object to behave in a particular way. It could be with or with an individual person or group of persons, right? So if you're behaving in a particular way, so there's a purpose for the behavior. Like for example, I spoke about favorable attitude or unfavorable attitude. So this is when you're getting a benefit, you're going to behave favorably. If you're not going to get any benefits, you're not going to behave favorably. So that is what is the purpose or object. Okay, so that is about attitudes having an object. Next one is attitudes have directions, degrees, and intensity. Okay, so every attitude is got its own direction, its own degree, and its own intensity. So what is the direction? See here, like I said, attitude expresses how a person feels towards an object. It expresses, first thing, direction. So direction is the person is either favorable or unfavorable. Okay, that is direction. You're either like pointing out the direction towards that person or against that person. The next one is degree. So degree is where how much a person likes or dislikes an object. Okay, how much, the volume or intensity, how much you like that person or how much you dislike that person, or it could be an object or it could be a thing, anything. Okay, the next one is intensity, the confidence of expression about the object, how strong a person feels about that particular object or person. So these are the the 3 different things, that's the direction, degree, and intensity of an attitude. The next one you have is the next characteristic, attitudes have structure. So attitude is not one single trait, girls. It's not one single thing. Okay, it's not one single characteristic, but all the characteristics put together only makes your attitude. Okay, a person might have different types of characteristics. Okay, so different features, different attributes, different traits. Now all these traits put together only is called as your attitude. So attitude is a structure. It does not stand in isolation. Okay, it's made up of various ingredients. Like when I spoke about the components of attitude, the cognitive compound, it takes into consideration the knowledge, the belief, the the feelings, the emotions, okay, your behavior. All this put together only is constructing your attitude. So attitude is not a single trait, but it's a structure. It's a cluster of attributes. The next one is attitudes are learned. You can see the fourth one here. Attitudes are learned. Okay, learned meaning attitude is developed, okay, from our personal experience. Attitude is something which is not come instantly for us. Okay, attitude is something which is not come instantly, rather it is developed over a period of time, right? So it has come through our personal experience. It has come to us through education. It has come to us from the information that we get from our friends, our relatives, our peer group, okay, or it has come to us from the media. So therefore attitude tends to change from time to time. Okay, so therefore attitudes are learned, right? So these are the various characteristics of attitude. All right, I repeat: attitude as an object, attitude at different directions, uh, degrees and intensities. Okay, attitudes have a structure, and lastly attitudes are learned. All right, so with this, if at all you have any doubts, you can always text me back and ask me. uh, and the textbook has got all the topics, so if you will buy a textbook it will be good enough. Alright, so otherwise for time being I will forward the topics to you, so you can go through these topics. So in the next class I will take up positive attitude. So thank you guys.